video is all about biryani. What goes into making a biryani? So this video I will show you how to parboil rice for the biryani, plus how to fry onions to light golden brown for biryani, as well as biryani masala. When you decide to make a biryani, you need to decide if you want to marinate the chicken, fish or meat, or you don't want to marinate that. And as far as vegetable biryani goes, you don't marinate the vegetables at all. For biryani rice, we normally use basmati rice. This is long grain rice, is the best rice you can choose for making a biryani. Now when you use basmati rice for the biryani, you need to wash this rice and rinse the water clear, and then we parboil this rice with cinnamon sticks, cloves, cardamoms, bay leaf and green chilies, plus you can also add cumin seeds for the biryani rice. Now the essential of making a biryani is fried onions, which we slice these onions slim and then we fry to golden brown. We also need for biryani is cilantro, mint or coriander leaves. Please do not use parsley. Parsley is a bit overpowering for a biryani. Also you will require some ghee. For every biryani, ginger and garlic paste is always used. You need salt as well, you need yogurt, and you need certain spices for every biryani, which includes red chili powder, biryani masala powder, turmeric powder, which is also known as haldi, cumin powder, zira powder, coriander powder, which is known as dhania powder. You also need whole spices like cinnamon stick, black cardamom 1 whole. Then you need some green cardamoms and some cloves plus bay leaf. Also, if you want, you can use a lemon, a slice of lemon or a half a lemon for the recipe for biryani. Now it's up to you if you want to choose red chilies or green chilies for the recipe. Also very essential for a recipe is a saffron. Saffron is saffron. This adds amazing aromatic flavor to the rice as well as color to the rice. Now also you will need some dry fruits. If you want to use dry fruits, it's a complete option. For dry fruits, you have choices of almonds, you've got cashew nut and raisins. Tomatoes is also an option to make biryani, and most importantly, yogurt. Yogurt is always used to make a nice biryani, as well as some ghee. Now if you want to use food coloring, you can use, but I don't like using food coloring in my cooking, so avoid using. But if you find organic food coloring, then you can go ahead and use it. Now if you're making some meat dishes like meat biryani and you want to use a tenderizer, you can go ahead and use a meat tenderizer as well. For biryani rice, I've washed the rice clear. I've soaked this rice in room temperature water for 1 hour. Here I've got 1 tablespoon of oil, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds. I've got salt as per taste. Here I've used a teaspoon of salt for every cup of rice and a little extra half teaspoon of salt. I've got 3 whole green chilies, 2 bay leaves, 4 cloves and 4 cardamoms. So let's start making our biryani rice. To a large pot, I have placed 12 cups of room temperature water. I've turned my stove on, it's on medium currently. Now to this water, I'll add in all my ingredients. Here I've got some cumin seeds, salt, green chilies, bay leaves and cloves plus cardamom. Give it a good stir. Add oil as well. We add oil so that the rice grains don't stick to each other when we boil this rice for our biryani. So now I let this water come to a complete rolling boil. Once it comes to a complete rolling boil, then I'll add our washed rice. So I will cover this dish, this pot, with a lid and wait for the water to come to a boil. The water has come to a boil, so I'll show you. Let me open it. Be very careful while removing the lid because of the steam. My flame is still on medium. So at this point I'll add my rice. I've drained the water out from my rice and I'll just add it to this water. So what I'll do is I will let this rice cook like this for first 7 minutes. So I'll keep this pot uncovered and let this water come to a boil again and cook it for minimum 7 minutes. And after that I will cook it for a further 2 to 3 minutes. For biryani rice we also need saffron. This is a very important ingredient for biryani. It gives a fantastic aromatic flavor to the rice. I will cook this rice for a further 2 minutes because at 7-minute mark the water hasn't yet come to a proper boil. Once it comes to a boil, then I'll cover it and cook for a further 2 minutes. It's been exactly 9 minutes since this rice has been boiling in the water. Now what we need to look for is to cook this rice to up to 80% or 85% for your biryani. So right now at this point I will be covering this dish, this pot, and I'll let it cook on medium high for the next 2 minutes. Or a little longer. We'll see how the rice looks after 2 minutes. It's been exactly 3 minutes. At this time I'll open and remove the lid to check on the rice. This is perfect. You can see the rice is cooked well. Immediately turn off the stove. So this is actually partly cooked. This rice we will cook it further with either meat or a vegetable, whatever you're making. The rice will continue cooking with that. This biryani rice is ready to use. So I'll drain the water now. Before draining this rice water out from the rice, I'll take some water from it and use it for my saffron. I'll add it to my saffron. This will give an excellent color to the saffron. Now if you don't want to use hot water, you can most certainly use milk as well. I like using hot water because this hot water helps the saffron to leave a very rich color for my biryani. So let's drain the water from this rice and use it for the biryani. Let's strain the water from this. Oops. This biryani rice is ready to use for the recipe. You can see the biryani rice is cooked so well. For homemade biryani masala, we need many spices, as you can see here. Here I've got some caraway seeds, I've got some coriander seeds, I've also got some fennel seeds, and these are whole red chilies. I've just broken them into halves. I've also got kalonji, known as onion seeds. This is optional. I also have a 6-inch cinnamon stick plus 1 mace. This kind of gives a nutmeg flavor. We also need nutmeg for this recipe. We need some green cardamoms. You can see green cardamoms. Need some cloves. You need black cardamom. This takes on a smoky flavor. We need some star anise. This imparts a sweet flavor to the masala. Plus we need some peppercorns. Now all the measurements will be mentioned in my description box below. We also need some dry ingredients like turmeric powder and pomegranate powder, known as Anardana powder. This is also optional. And we need some prunes, known as Aloo Bukhara. Actually the packet looks like this. So all these ingredients will be roasted, and then I'll blend it into a nice powder, and I will place this in an airtight container, but I will not mix this prunes or aloo bukhara to my dry ingredients. I will always use this directly in my biryani recipe. So let's start roasting all these spices to make our homemade biryani masala. I've turned the stove on and I've heated this pan on medium flame. So we'll start with roasting our spices. Here I'm adding in coriander seeds, some red chilies, fennel seeds and caraway seeds. Now keep it on low, your flame, once your pan is heated, because you don't want these spices to burn. And just keep sauteing it. Roast these spices till they leave an aromatic flavor, and I'm just roasting, probably I'll roast it for 2 minutes, and constantly stir to avoid these spices from burning. The spices seem roasted. It's just been less than 2 minutes. Now I'll transfer it to a bowl. I'll let these spices cool down before using it in my spice grinder. I've just transferred the spices to a bowl for it to cool down. I'll continue roasting the remaining spices as well. Let's start roasting our remaining spices. I'll add the cinnamon sticks, bay leaf, peppercorn, anise seed, star anise, cardamoms, cloves, mace, nutmeg. I'll roast this for less than a minute on low flame. I'll also add in at this point my onion seeds, which is optional. These seem roasted. Now I'll transfer this to my bowl and I'll let it cool down. I have transferred all the roasted spices to this bowl. I will let these spices cool down completely before grinding them into a powder. The reason being, right now the spices are hot and it will leave moisture, which I don't want. I want a dry powder. So once these cool down completely, I will grind them. After grinding them, I'll add the turmeric powder and the pomegranate seed powder. These masalas have cooled down very well. So what I'll start doing is I'll break these bay leaves and place it in my dry grinder. so it's easy to grind everything. I've also broken my cinnamon stick and add all these spices in. Now this you can store in an airtight container in a dry place and use it when you need it for your biryani recipe. So I'll start dry grinding. Grind it to a fine powder. I will check it. You can see it's ground so well. I can get the amazing aroma of this fresh biryani powder. It's just amazing. To this biryani masala, I'll add in turmeric powder and the pomegranate seed powder, and we'll give it a good stir. Biryani masala is ready to use. This recipe made approximately 40 grams of biryani masala. I've added 1/4 cup of ghee to this recipe. Now I'll wait for this to warm up and then I will start the process of frying the onions light golden brown for the brishta, which goes between the layers of the biryani. Right now my flame is on medium high. I'll cook this till these onions turn slightly golden brown, and when frying these onions, always keep in mind, do not fry them to a dark brown, because once you remove them from the ghee or oil, whatever you're using, the onions still cook a bit while they're cooling down. So I'll continue frying this till my onions are lightly golden brown. Onions look fried for the brishta. It's golden, very light golden brown. Now I'll turn the stove off and I'll remove these onions and keep it aside to use it for layering in between my biryani. You can see how beautifully these onions have cooked. So when I remove it, it will still further cook till it cools down. So at this point, you should remove the onions from the pan. This onion brishta is ready for using in your biryani recipes. Onion brishta is ready to use, or golden fried onions is ready to use for biryani. For biryani recipes, please click on the link mentioned in the description box below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please click on the bell icon for notification for my latest videos. Thank you for watching. Enjoy!